In this video, we're going to talk about the fundamentals of layouts in Android Studio. For example, the layout of row, column, and technically the third layout would be boxes. So we're going to talk about how to arrange them, how to combine them, how to make a grid, how to make rows with different elements, and we are going to touch upon the modifiers and how that gets rendered in Android. So stay tuned for that one here in Daily Code Grind. So I start a new project, empty activity, layout demo. I'm going to do it again, just make sure that everyone can see. So empty activity, and then here I put layout demo. Good. API 24, why not? And that's what I'm using, default settings, demo. I'm going to say it 2. You should just leave it demo. I'm going to run the emulator, and while it's running, I'm going to explain what it's happening. So we have a greeting function right here, and this is where in main activity it's going to run it. So it's going to run the greetings. This is a composable function. It's right here. We have text that's running, so we should see in our Android device that it says hello Android, since the name that is being passed is Android. And right here in the text we have two things. We have the text and the modifier. The modifier will come in handy later. So I popped out the Android emulator and it just says hello world. So we kinda could see that was gonna happen, but what happens when we put in two texts? So let's do that. You'll see that there will be a conflict. So it's hello, let's say bye. There'll be a conflict where they'll jumble up together, so they're in stack, like in front of each other. So it's just like gibberish. So they're together. So only if there's a way to be able to separate them, and that's what we're going to talk about. First, we're going to use column. So it's, you just write column, big C, column, parentheses, then you can put it in here. You put the text inside the curly braces. So here we go, and that will put them in a column. And Alt Enter. Import function, yes. Okay. We run the emulator again, and you'll see that the words, the text was like layered. So yeah, so it's on top of each other, like it's on a column. It's up and down. It starts with the first one, hello Android, and the bottom one's by Android. So there's another function I want to talk about, and that's row. As you can see from the autocomplete, the modifier is inside the parentheses, so that's something we can pass a little bit later. And it says modifier fillMaxSize, and I'm just gonna hit tab for that. I want to see it. I think there's an extra parentheses here. Okay, I'm gonna delete that. Just one more. There we go. And Alt Enter to import that library. It's going to be this one, I believe. Run again, and that will put it in a row. So yeah, so it starts, it has no padding or anything, but it's all in one row. So I want you to keep that in mind. And now we're gonna move to something else. So there's 3 fundamental layouts in Android Studio. One is row, we kind of glance over it, in the column, and technically there's a third one, which is box. So we'll do that in a little bit. So we're not gonna play with text anymore, so let's delete it, these two, and let's add a box on top of a row. We're not gonna use it for now. So it's big B, OX, parentheses of course, then then the curly braces, and Alt Enter for this. And now we can do modifier. So it's going to be modifier equals modifier, and we're going to first give it the size. So it's going to be 100 dp, and that will make a square. And now we can do like the color. So to do that, we need to go down to background, and as you can see, it has a color option, even the shape you want it to. So let's do color dot black, and we need to import this library. Alt Enter, import this, Alt Enter, import that library, and it's going to be the Android X Compose UI graphics. There we go. And if you render it, you'll see a black square. And there we go. Here's our 100 dp black square. So let's make another one that's blue, and you'll see that the same thing happens, that they're like stack on top of each other. So you'll only see one. There we go. There's only one there. Alright, let's put those boxes in the row now to get them unjumbled. So copy, cut technically, cut, and paste, and run it again. And you should be able to see them, and they're not stuck on top of each other. They should be in a row. Here we go. And give me, as you can see, it's black and then a blue square. So why not add another one, right? Because for fun. So let's do color, I don't know, let's see what there is here. I think like magenta. Yeah. And now we have 3 in a row, right? There we go. So how do you think, what do you think will happen if we do a column here? It's gonna put them down. So I'm gonna do that quickly. So put them in a column. And there we go. Now I want you to think what will happen if you, how would you make a grid? Right? I want you to think that for a second. Feel free to pause the video, and I'm gonna go over it. So if you wanted to make a grid, it would be, you would put like a column, like a row of this stuff inside a column. So you would like do a column, then the row, and then within that row it'll have the 3 boxes, and then every time you do a new row, it's gonna make the 3 boxes again. So let's do that. Here's our code again. We have the row with 3 boxes inside of it, and that whole thing, the row itself, is inside the column function. So the easiest way would be to, we need to make a grid that's 3 by 3, so it's gonna be 3 by 3 boxes, and you can do like a row that has inside that row a column, but we're doing, it's the same thing, we're doing the column and inside of that has a row. So we're gonna copy and paste the row 2 more times, so we have a total 3 rows. And there's a lot of brackets and parentheses, and it's very easy for you, or for me even, to get the wrong like curly braces. So the easiest way is to minimize the row and copy and paste it 3 times. Copy, and I think it's a row for code too. There you go, 3 times. I run it, and here it is. Here it is. So we actually do have 3 rows and 3 columns, but they're just together. And our next thing we're going to talk about is modifier and how to add a padding. If we have a padding, then there's some space between here, and we can distinguish every square. So we're gonna do that now. So for you to make the padding, like here in the modifier, the column, we need to add padding. There we go. And let's do 20 dp and see what happens. And so it added padding around the column itself only. My understanding was that how I don't know if it, like there's supposed to be a UI tree, and that UI tree inside of has like the rows for the column. It would be like the column, then the row, the 3 rows, and inside those 3 rows will be the boxes itself. And my understanding was that everything gets inherited to the child, but I guess that's not the case. So it's only for like the parent. So for here we can add more paddings for the rows. So that's gonna, I believe that's just gonna like outline the rows then, right? So let's do, I'm just gonna write it out. Modifier equals, yep, there we go, good job. And we'll see what happens. And it did it there. So there's some padding already within the row itself. So if you just wanted to break up the squares, we just add the padding to every square. So let's do that. Here. So I added the padding to the step within the rows, and something caught my eye. So I remember seeing like tutorials on modifiers, and what will matter will be the order how you apply the modifiers, like the padding, the size, the background. So in one instance we have that we first do we give it the size, then the background, then the padding. But from here, from our thing, this should have a space, but the order matters. So if you put somehow in this line of code, the padding is being painted by the background, whereas in the next line we have there's no like painting over the padding. So the order like matters. So this one, it's making the size, doing some padding. This is where I think after the size that it goes backwards. So it's applying the background, then giving it that padding, so it's not painting over it. That is my understanding. I don't know. Double comment below if you know more than that, or a better explanation than me. I'm gonna call it a day, or like a video for this one. I think you need to, like an assignment would be for you to add padding between every square. So that's something you can do and fix the code. And I want to kind of wrap it up. I want to keep the videos to like 10 videos per week, 10 minutes, not 10 videos. And I want to do for next video would probably be something with like an HTML would be like putting like a box and then like taking up the free space and playing around with weights too. So look forward for that video next week. Hopefully I get around to it. And make sure you like, subscribe, and comment below. If you have any questions and comments, that really helps the algo. So see you next week. Thanks for watching.